He says, Bismillah. So he says here, 261. He say, the blood of nifas should stop a woman from whatever the blood of hayd stops her from. And this is not qiyas. He says he says here, there is no difference between this amongst the Muslims. So probably he's referring to ijma'. If that was ijma', that means people have done ijma' on qiyas. And therefore, because ijma' is right for him, then qiyas will be right, because if they have gathered on it doing it qiyas. So,
what is nifas?
Nifas is the blood after the birth.
No. So what did I miss out yesterday? When I left, what did I miss?
Stop.
We didn't continue long, just 2 minutes or 3. So he said the blood of nifas, whatever woman can't do because of blood of menses, of hayd, she can't do because of so she can't pray, she can't fast, she can't do tawaf. So he said here, except for tawaf.
Okay.
He said because woman with nifas can do tawaf, because the forbidding came only about the woman who has done hayd. Because Aisha, when the Prophet said, don't do everything except tawaf. When Aisha went to Umrah with the Prophet, she became in state of menses. So he said, do everything that the Hajj does normally, except for tawaf. And so here, he says, this came only for the nufasa, but he retracted here. He will retract anyway. He said, it wasn't mentioned for the woman who have blood after birth, and Allah doesn't forget. He said, then we looked at it again, and we found that nifas is menstruation that has been delayed. Like the blood of menstruation, this is nifas, is the blood that gathers from all these months. They say it comes in one go. So he said the hukm of it is hukm of hayd, of menstruation. And the proof for that, the Prophet, when he spoke to Aisha, when she was in menses, he said, Anufisti? There is several hadith that Aisha, when the Prophet used to ask about hayd, he will refer to it as nifas. So nifas and hayd are two similar things, except because the one after birth is a special case. People have given it a different name, but the Prophet used to refer to hayd as nifas as well. So hayd is nifas and nifas is hayd. The Prophet, when Aisha had no birth, didn't give birth in Hajj, he told her, Anufisti. Also hadith in Bukhari and Muslim that Salama she said, I was in state of menstruation. I was lying with the Prophet on bed, then I felt the menstruation, and then I left. So the Prophet called her back. He said, is it because of nifas that you left? She said, yes. So they call hayd and the nifas the same. So it means they will have the same hukum, because they are the same thing. So that is not qiyas at all. He says also ghusl from the nifas, it has to be obligation the way, and the man has to keep away from his wife, of course, during the nifas, because it is hayd, and the nifas is hayd and hayd is nifas anyway. Okay, so that is one thing. I don't think there is no different opinions regarding this, and if they have done it for qiyas, some people may have done it for qiyas, but it should be done because the hadith, every hadith that refers to hayd refers to nifas, and every hadith that refers to nifas refers to hayd. Okay, so is there any problem?
Generally, you say that nifas in Arabic language means postnatal bleeding. I mean,
yes.
Amongst Arabic in the language.
Yes.
But
this is called
and call
no, this is just a question of, this is the same name in Arabic, but this is kind of hayd. Nifas is a kind of hayd which is delayed, but both of them are called hayd, both of them are called nifas. When the Prophet spoke to Salama, she is Arab woman, and he said, "Did you have nifas?" She said, "Yes." So nifas is hayd and hayd is nifas. So, مسألة 262. He say, وجائز للحائض والنفساء أن يتزوجا. It is fine for a woman in her menstruation or after giving birth to get married and to enter the mosque.
Sorry, she can enter when she's finished or when she's...
No, when she is in her menstruation. She can get married when she is in her menstruation, and she can enter the mosque when she is in her menstruation as well. That's what he says. And also a person in janaba, he can enter the mosque without... When we say in janaba, that's mean before doing ghusl, because after doing ghusl, that is everybody, of course. So he said because there is no thing to show that is prohibited for these people to go to the mosque. He said, and the Prophet have said that al-mu'min la yanjus, the believer never get impure. Also, he said the people of Sufa, they are the people who were poor people who came to Medina, immigrated to Medina and had no place. He said they used to live in the mosque at the presence of the Prophet, and there were many people. And there is no doubt that amongst them, there are some people who used to have wet dreams at night. And the Prophet never forbid them from living in the mosque. Some people said the person in menstruation, a woman in menstruation, and the person in janaba should not enter the mosque except if they are passing by. And this is the saying of Shafi'i. And he is the proof for that Allah says in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَقْرَبُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَنْتُمْ سُكَارَى حَتَّى تَعْلَمُوا مَا تَقُولُونَ. O you who believe, don't approach the prayer until while you are in state of intoxication, until you know what you are saying, neither when you are in state of janaba, except passing by, until you do ghusl. So he said that they made a claim that Zayd ibn Aslam have said, Zayd ibn Aslam and others have said that don't approach the prayer, meaning don't approach the place of prayer when it comes to tafsir. Of course, this is taking the word from out of its meaning without proof, except that some say don't approach prayer while instead of janaba, don't approach prayer while instead of janaba, except as passerby, like travelers. So they say it doesn't make any sense. I mean, everybody nobody can approach prayer in state of janaba at any time, because he has to do tayammum if there is no water. So, and if you say, well, passerby, if you do tayammum, so they will say in all cases it doesn't make any sense. No, it does make sense, except that you have to take it apparently. So you shouldn't pray, you shouldn't approach the prayer in state of janaba. The prayer, not the mosque. It doesn't mention any mosque here. And other people have a different explanation for it. He said it is wrong what Zayd have said here. The truth is Zayd ibn Aslam didn't say this, because it is narrated from his son Abdurrahman ibn Zayd ibn Aslam, and Abdurrahman ibn Zayd ibn Aslam is untrustworthy. He said if it has proven to be that he has said it, and he said that it is not right to think that Allah wants to say don't approach the place of prayer, and instead he said don't approach the prayer. And this ayah, according to Ali ibn Abi Talib and Ibn Abbas, they say don't approach the prayer. So they didn't make any ta'wil regard. So Malik said don't approach the prayer at all. He said you shouldn't enter the mosque at all while you are in state of janaba, even passing by, just if you need to cross the like going from one area to another area. Malik said you shouldn't. Abu Hanifa and Sufyan said they shouldn't pass. But if they need to, if there is necessity, then they do tayammum. If there is no time to do ghusl or something hurry or something, they have to do tayammum and then crossing the mosque.
So you said Abu Hanifa and who? Sorry?
Sufyan Thawri. He said those who said that you shouldn't approach the mosque while in state of janaba, and the hadith, also for the woman in her menses, they use this hadith. One from Aflat ibn Khalifa, from Jasra bint Dajaja, from Aisha, that the Prophet said to his companion, turn your houses from the mosque, like the doors of your houses, don't put them to the mosque. The Prophet did say in a hadith that nobody should have his door to the mosque except for Abu Bakr. And the Prophet had his door to the mosque. The only way to the Prophet to get out of his house is to get into the mosque and then get out if he want. And Abu Bakr had something, a house, even though Abu Bakr had a different place, but he has a door to the mosque. And the Prophet, when he ordered them all to put their doors out of the mosque, at one point, he said, except Abu Bakr. He gave him permission to stay. But what is the reason for that? Allahu A'lam. Now, here there is a hadith that I mentioned, Aflat ibn Khalifa from Jasra ibn Dajaja, that the Prophet said, turn away these houses from the mosque, because I don't make halal the mosque for any woman who is in her menses or a man who is in state of janaba. Also another hadith narrated by Abi Ghunya from Abi al-Khattab al-Hajari, from Mahduj al-Hudali, from Jasra also bint Dajaja. She said that Salama told me that the Prophet called with his higher voice that this mosque is not halal for any person in state of janaba or a woman in her menses except for the Prophet and his wives and Ali and Fatima. Yeah, you can see this hadith and another hadith from Abdul Wahhab, from Ata al-Khaffaf, from ibn Abi Ghunya, from Ismail, from Jasra bint Dajaja, from Salama, that it says that this mosque is haram from every man in his state of janaba and the woman in her menses except Muhammad and his wives and Ali and Fatima. And another hadith from Muhammad ibn al-Hasan ibn Zubala, from Sufyan ibn Hamza, from Kathir ibn Zayd, from Muttalib ibn Abdullah, that the Prophet did not give permission for anyone to pass in the mosque or to live in it except in state of janaba, except Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, Ibn Hazm said, this all is invalid. As Aflat, he is not known, and he is not known and not known to be trustworthy. So this is regarding the first hadith. And he said that the problem is Aflat, and Aflat is unknown. Nobody trustworthy mentioned him. Nobody from the criticizers of hadith have said he's trustworthy. For Jasra bint Dajaja, is Bukhari say she brings wonders. Like she brings wonder, like her hadith always are like this. Like when you hear it, you know that it is da'if. So Bukhari say عندها عجيب. So she is weak. She is clearly weak, or her hadith are similar like this. It looks like she used to make them, because it's not possible that she used to make a mistake. She is tabi'i. She narrates from Aisha and Salama. It's not possible that she will, all her hadith are like she make mistakes and she narrates this hadith. It's clearly she used to make them up.
You know when you said that the house is doors away from the masjid, you mean into the masjid, not like a house separate?
If you have a door to the masjid, just put your door outside. That's all.
You take it like that, yeah?
I don't understand this door. What do you mean door like that?
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Is it an opposite door opening to the...
You see, this is a mosque. This is door out of the mosque to the road. The Prophet had his house there. For him, it has no other door except this door to the mosque. So if he has to go out, he has to come outside his house to the mosque. Other people had their houses
Separate from
with the mosque. the wall with the mosque. So someone is living here, he has a door, and he has no other door. So when he comes to the mosque, he has to enter first the mosque and then get out. The Prophet at one point ordered everybody who has a door to the mosque to close it, and then find another way outside.
I've wanted to know if it's that or if that little shopkeepers over there, they've got their doors facing towards
I
the mosque.
explained
Okay,
now
that's
what
fine.
is it. He said, as for the first hadith is from Aflat, and he is not known. That is one thing. And Jasra, every hadith that we have narrated here, except for one, is all from Jasra bint Dajaja. And Jasra bint Dajaja people have said that she is weak. The truth is, she is very weak if she is not a liar. Mahduj is untrustworthy. He narrates a lot of stuff like this from Jasra. We don't know if he is like he make up as well with her, or like what he heard from her. He narrates a lot of stuff like this from Jasra bint Dajaja as well. Abu al-Khattab al-Hajari is not known. Ata al-Khaffaf, he is munkar al-hadith. His hadith is, everybody agrees that his hadith is munkar. You don't like all these people that hear this hadith here. Even those people who take hadith as like da'if plus da'if equal to hasan, these hadith are not to be looked at, and therefore this hadith, despite this hadith coming from several narrations, they are considered for the muhaddithin. This hadith is considered to be weak. It can't be sahih because of the numerous narrations, because they are so da'if. There is also the last hadith that Ali, the Prophet didn't give permission for everybody to enter the mosque or pass by except for Ali bin Abi Talib. This hadith is narrated by Muhammad bin Hassan bin Zubala. He is a Maliki who make up hadith. Whatever Malik says, he will make up hadith for it. Like Malik would say something, because Malik said you can't pass through, you can see that how he made it. Anything that Malik says, he will make just hadith similar to what Malik have said. So this man is known to be a liar. So he said, Muhammad bin Hassan is known to be a liar. Kathir bin Zayd, also the one he narrated from, is known to be a liar. So all these hadith are so weak that nobody, and this is mostly with the qiyas. People who say that a woman should not enter the mosque, and they are the majority. Those people who say the woman with menses should not enter the mosque, and the man with janaba shouldn't enter the mosque, used either explanation of the ayah, don't approach the prayer, that's mean don't approach the place of prayer, and then from that they did qiyas for a woman in janaba. This is one group. The other group are the people who said use this hadith.
Do you mean woman in menses or woman in janaba?
Woman in menses or janaba.
Okay.
You understand? So
what does the Hanbali madhab say about this?
the Hanbali madhab, they have two opinions. Ahmed bin Hanbal says it's haram, and it's in the madhab that's fine. However, the followers of the madhab, they follow the opinion of Ibn Hazm, that it's fine to enter the mosque. Because you see, like Ibn Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah, they read books of Ibn Hazm, and where they clearly, like here, he made it clear, even though he is wrong, for them, they have been discussing this issue this way. So they look at the proofs that they bring, there is no proof. So they say it's fine.
What do you mean, even though he's wrong?
He is wrong when he's to say that a woman can enter the woman in menses. A man with janaba can enter the mosque. There is no proof. But woman in menses should not enter the mosque. I will mention here what his proof for this. He says, and then he bring his proof that a woman in menses can enter the mosque. He says, Aisha had a slave, a black slave. No, Aisha said that a black slave woman was to belong to some people, Arabs people. And then they freed her. So she immigrated to the Prophet, and she used to have like a tent inside the mosque. So he says, look, this woman, the Prophet gave her permission to stay in the mosque. It's not possible that he didn't see her, like a tent in the mosque. The Prophet prays there 5 days, 5 times a day. So he saw her there, or they will say she had permission from him. So they will say, and this woman, she will have menses. And menses, it's not like 1 minute and then she has to go ghusl. It's like, it stays.
Yes.
As for, so he says this is a woman living in the mosque of the Prophet, and women do have menses. The Prophet didn't stop her, he didn't forbid her. And we mentioned that the Prophet said, the earth is made masjid for me. You understand? He said, if the Prophet have said the earth is mosque for me, that's mean the women are living on this earth. You understand? So he says, and there is no different opinion that woman in her menses and man or in state of janaba or man in state of janaba, they are fine to use all the earth, and it is a mosque. So you should not say that some mosque is fine and some mosque is not fine. Also, if the mosque is not fine, is forbidden for a woman in her menses, the Prophet should have told Aisha, because he did not forbid her except from tawaf. He told her, do everything that the Hajj does, except that don't do tawaf. You understand? He said, why he didn't tell her, do everything that the Hajj does, except don't approach the mosque? He says, so this is here something extra. He said, and it is definitely certainty that the Prophet will not, that it's forbidden for her to enter the mosque, and the Prophet will tell her, don't enter the mosque only. Don't do tawaf only. But he doesn't tell her, don't go to the mosque. And what he says here, is this is the saying of Muzani, the follower of Shafi'i, and Dawud bin Ali al-Zahiri. What he says, this is their saying. As for the others, the four madhahib say it is forbidden for the woman to, in her menses, and the man in state of janaba to enter the mosque. Now for the man in state of janaba, there is no dalil. There is no proof that he shouldn't enter the mosque. Except the ayah that they use, people have different explanation for it. Not everybody agrees. As for the hadith that they rely on, all these hadith are weak. We have mentioned yesterday, the hadith from Aisha, that the Prophet said to Aisha, get me the mat from the mosque. And she said, Aisha said, I am in menses. He said, your menses is not in your hand. Now the hadith, which is in Muslim, it says like this. The Prophet told Aisha, get me the mat from the mosque. This is what normally, Ibn Hazm didn't use this hadith here, but this is what Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn al-Qayyim, and the Salafis today use. That a woman in her menses can't go to the mosque. They say, look, the Prophet told Aisha, get me the mat from the mosque. She said, I am in menses. He said that your menses is not your hand. So the Prophet is ordering her to enter the mosque. That hadith is not like this. The Prophet told Aisha, get me the mat while he was in the mosque. So he was in the mosque and he told Aisha, get me the mat. She was at home. Not.
No.
So when the Prophet told Aisha, get me the mat from the mosque, they thought that this is the Prophet saying. Even when they put it in the books of hadith, from the mosque, they will put it all between brackets as the saying of the Prophet. You understand? The hadith means like this. The Prophet told Aisha, get me the mat from the mosque. In Arabic, min al-masjid. He told her where he was in the mosque. And this is easy to understand because if you go to Muslim, just after this hadith from Aisha, the hadith following hadith is hadith of Abu Huraira. He says, while the Prophet was in the mosque, he told Aisha, get me the mat. She said, I am in menses. he said, your menses is not in your hand. So this is this hadith is this hadith, and this explain what from the mosque is.
That's how we understand it.
Yes.
I know, but thinking about it,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any difference because she would have had to bring it to him in the masjid
No,
anyway.
no. He is there next to the door, and he is inside. He was in i'tikaf, so he can't go inside.
So why would she mention he's in her menses then?
What she mentions,
Yeah.
well, she will, the mat. He is going to pray, and she will touch the mat with her hand.
You sure?
Yeah, he said your menses. He didn't say your menses are not your own feet, because she thought that her menses were, when she touches the mat with her hand. He said your menses is not in your hand.
I'm convinced, man.
No, the thing is, a question. The Prophet, you didn't use to enter the mosque because he is, so he will be staying in next to the mosque, but not enter inside because when he is in tawaf, in i'tikaf, he will even, yeah.
He could put his hand in the house. He doesn't have to go in the house. He just tell her, give it to me. For the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if the mat will not be waiting next to the door, and he doesn't have a long arm to go all the way inside. So that is why the Prophet asked her to get the. It's not possible that the Prophet will be staying at home and he asked his wife to go inside the mosque. I mean, the mosque was open all the time, and the man praying night and day, man sleeping in there. So that is not. As for the woman, the woman that they say she used to sleep in the mosque and she has menses, this woman, there is no proof that she was living in the mosque all the way until the death of the Prophet. So it's possible that she was living at one time and then she left.
Okay.
It's possible that she lived there all her life. So if there is no proof that it is haram for a woman to enter the mosque, that's fine. When he says that the earth is made masjid for us, and the masjid, so it's not you don't say a woman can stay in some masjid, but in some masjids can't stay. This is invalid because the Prophet said that the masjid is when a man urinated in the mosque, the Prophet said, "Inna hadhihi al-masajid," these mosques are not fit for anyone like to do this kind of dirt in these mosques. So that is outside the mosque. The earth is made a mosque. So whenever you pray, that is a mosque. At the time of prayer, that is your mosque only, not all the time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran also, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ. Don't approach your wives while you are in the mosques. This is not in the houses. The house is a house. The house is a mosque when you are praying in it. But when you finish your prayer, it's not mosque. As the mosque is a mosque all the time. So that is invalid statement. But there is a hadith which is in Bukhari and Muslim, but people didn't use it this way. That's why I say always, if someone is, like there is the debate like this, and some people have different, they are saying something, the majority or the minority, but they brought a dalil which is weak, doesn't mean that they are wrong. Maybe they are using the wrong dalil, but they are right in a way. Because here there is a hadith in Bukhari and they didn't use it to as proof for their saying. Hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, that the Prophet, when he said about the woman going to Eid, he said that the woman in their menses should go to the salat of prayer, to prayer of Eid. And then he said like this, وَيَعْتَزِرُ الْحُيَّضُ الْمُصَلَّى, and the women in their menses should keep away from the musalla. And every mosque is a musalla, because mosque is a place of prayer. Every mosque is a musalla. Not every musalla is a mosque, but every mosque is a musalla. And the Prophet said here, this is a special statement. يَعْتَزِلُ الْحُيَّضُ الْمُصَلَّى, the women in their menses should keep away from musalla. So this you take it general. So whatever happened from this woman who was living in the mosque or is different from this. Either she was state of necessity, there is no place for her to go somewhere else, or she was lived there for some time and then left So, and this hadith is general. So a woman in menses should not enter the mosque. And if some, yes.
Yes, if you're praying in one room, like your wife, she's in her periods, and you, does she has to come out of the room? Or
If you are praying, no. The musalla is this. This is the musalla. If you are out
just
of the
square where you pray.
Yeah, if you are out of the mosque.
No, inside the house, and your wife
Yeah,
is
wherever you are. If you are not in a mosque, then your masjid is where you are, up to where you do sujood. That is your masjid.
That's your masjid.
That is your masjid.
So
The masjid.
Keep after your masjid.
Yes, she can't come and enter, sit in the place where you are standing to pray, in between you and the qibla, for example.
That's it.
Between you and the place of sujood. That is your musalla.
Generally, she can't sit there and give in.
So, how can this work then? She can go to the Eid, she can go to the masjid for Eid.
She can go to the Eid. Not musalla. That was why they used to pray outside, probably, because for her not to enter. Probably that is the reason. But even if when people are praying, when they are praying in gathering outside, the place that people, where there is the jama'ah, that is the musalla now. She can't go in between them. She can go behind them, but not in between. Because if she goes between these people, that is the musalla right now. So she has to keep away.
What I want to understand is, you are in your room. Like,
Yes, in your
she
room.
has to keep behind or in front?
Anywhere, not in your place where you are praying. And definitely she can't be there anyway. I mean, if this is your musalla. This is her. When I am praying, huh?
She can't walk in front of you anyway.
She can't walk, but she can sit there.
No.
Maybe she's sleeping in
It
the
would
bed
be
and you bring
difficult
in
for her to be sitting in your
Between
your
your-
masalla is your place.
Yeah, I
of
understand.
worship, so she
It
can't
is.
sit there.
It is. Sometimes it is fine for a man. He can be praying,
And she lied down,
and she is lying down,
sideways.
like Aisha used to do. The Prophet will be praying. Aisha is lying down like this at night time, and he is standing just like here, standing here. And then when he will go to do sujood, he will do something like this. She will move her feet. That will not be fine if she is in her menses.
Wouldn't the deal for them be as well? When you make 2 rakat for the masjid,
Yeah,
every time you go in there,
yeah.
and if you don't have to do this when you're outside, then definitely it's not a masjid.
She could lie down. No, sit.
Where?
I'm talking about for the people who say that the place she can enter
Yeah.
because every place is a masjid.
Yeah, definitely. That is misunderstand. That is misjudgment. What Ibn Baz, what he says that he was asked, can a person, does a person have 100,000 hasana? This is what Ibn Baz and Albani says. If he prays in any mosque in Mecca, he said, yeah, because all Mecca is masjid. Because Mecca, is Masjid al-Haram. Yeah, Mecca is Masjid al-Haram, is not like the Masjid al-Haram. That is masjid, that's true. But there is a masjid. The Prophet said Masjid al-Kaaba, the mosque of the Kaaba. That's what he referred to when he said that if you pray in it 100, if the dalil to say all Mecca is masjid, then you can't, they have to destroy all the toilets in Mecca. And nobody can stay with his wife in Mecca. Like they have to go out. Nobody can get married in like having sexual relation with his wife in Mecca. And so there is a mosque and a mosque. Sometimes, yeah, the same word is used in different. I mean, every word that has more than one meaning, you have to take all the meanings, unless there is proof. And here there is clearly proofs to differentiate between what is a mosque and a mosque not mosque. Also, okay, so he stopped. We finished with that. He said 263. He said, whoever does have sexual relation with a woman in her menses, he disobeyed Allah, and he must do tawbah, and there is no kafara, there is no expiation for it. Ibn Abbas said, if someone had sexual relation with his wife during menses, he should give 1 dinar as kafara. But if when the blood have started, if at the end of the blood, when it stops, then he has to pay half dinar. And also he said in another place, he said he should free a slave. Ata ibn Abi Rabah said regarding this matter, he should give 1 dinar. Qatada said if he is rich, he should give 1 dinar. If he is poor, half dinar. Al-Awza'i and Muhammad ibn al-Hasan said 1 dinar. Ahmad ibn Hanbal said if he want 1 dinar, if he want half dinar. Hasan al-Basri said he should free a slave. If he can't, then he should fast 2 months. This is qiyas. If he can't, then feed 60 poor. Like he do it on dhihar. Dhihar, Quran says, if someone says to his mother, to his wife, you are like the back of my mother, then he should not touch her until he does this: free a slave, or fast 60 days, or feed 60. If he can't, then he should feed 60 poor people. So Hasan al-Basri clearly here he has done qiyas. He said, as for those who said he should give sadaqah for 1 dinar or half dinar, they mentioned the hadith from Maqsim from Ibn Abbas that the Prophet said he should give 1 dinar or half a dinar. And in some narrations, it's if the blood is still fresh, then dinar. If it's fresh and red, then 1 dinar. If the blood at the end it becomes yellow, you say if the blood is yellow, then half dinar. And also another hadith narrated from Sharik, from Khusayf, from Akrimah, from Ibn Abbas, that a man approaches his wife during menses, that he should give sadaqah, charity, half dinar. Another hadith from Awza'i, from Yazid ibn Abi Malik, from Abdul Hamid ibn Abdul Rahman ibn Zayd ibn al-Khattab, that the Prophet ordered him regarding for intentionally touching his wife while is having sexual relation with his wife while in state of menses, that he should give 2/5 of a dinar. And another hadith from Abdul Malik ibn Habib, from Asbagh ibn al-Faraj, from Sabi'i, from Zayd ibn Abdul Hamid, from his father, that Umar ibn Khattab had sexual relation with his wife, with his slave, when she was in menses. He came to the Prophet told him, give half dinar. And another hadith from Abdul Malik ibn Habib, from al-Makfuf, from Ayyub ibn Khut, from Qatada, from Ibn Abbas, that the Prophet said he should give dinar or half dinar. And another hadith from Musa ibn Ayyub, from al-Walid ibn Muslim, from Ibn Jabir, from Ali ibn Badima, from Sa'id ibn Jubair, from Ibn Abbas, that the Prophet ordered a man who has touched a woman in her menses to free a slave. Now you see how many hadith. Also another hadith from Mahmud ibn Khalid, from al-Walid ibn Muslim, from Abdurrahman ibn Yazid Sulami, from Ali ibn Badima, from Sa'id ibn Jubair, from Ibn Abbas, similar hadith, that he should free a slave. And those who said that he should do itq, should free a slave, or fast, or feed 60 poor people, they say this is because qiyas. And actually they have done qiyas on Ramadan, because a man had sexual relation with his wife in Ramadan, and he came to the Prophet. He told him to do this: free a slave, or
60 consecutive days.
fast 60 days, or to feed 60 poor people. So they said qiyas, this person have done something which is haram, temporary haram for him, and this person have done something temporary haram for him. And this is, of course, this should not be done by the Ahnaf. The Ahnaf in the qiyas, they don't do qiyas. They do qiyas in mu'amalat, what we call mu'amalat, transactions, alhamdulillah, stuff like dealings between people, not in hudud. They don't do qiyas in expiations, the Ahnaf.
Are they the only ones that don't do it in this category?
Well, from some followers of other madhahib say also we don't do it in, they say we don't do it in the ibadah, such as prayer, such as fasting, not in the hudud.
They all say that, not in prayer, yeah? In ibadah. All
In ibadah, no. The majority say we don't do it in ibadah. But yeah. So he said here that all of this are wrong. As the hadith of Miqsam, he is weak, so we don't take it. The hadith of Miqsam people have, the majority consider him to be thiqah. However, despite this hadith being narrated by him, rahmakallah, people have said this hadith, this is the strongest hadith regarding this matter, the hadith of Miqsam. It was narrated by Shu'bah, and Shu'bah is one of the best muhaddithin. He used to narrate from Al-Hakam bin Utaybah from Miqsam, this hadith. And this hadith comes from Miqsam, from Abdul Karim Abi Umayyah. And Shu'bah himself, who narrated the hadith of Miqsam, said, he used to mention this hadith from Ibn Abbas, from the Prophet. Later, he changed he used to narrate it, he stopped narrating it from Miqsam. And Shu'bah is called, people call him Amirul Mu'mineen in the hadith. I mean, he is one of the first people ever to talk about criticizing people of hadith. And he is trustworthy unanimously, a big criticizer of man. Like he says, these people are trustworthy, is not. And he used to narrate this hadith from the Prophet, like from Hakam, from Miqsam, from Ibn Abbas, from the Prophet. Later on, he started narrating this hadith from Hakam, from Miqsam, from Ibn Abbas. He's saying, not the Prophet. And then people told him, you used to narrate it from the Prophet. He said, I was crazy, and now I came back to my senses. Shu'bah said this. This hadith is clearly not from the Prophet. I mean, it's a mistake. It's clearly a mistake. So, this hadith is da'if. Even Ahmad ibn Hanbal doesn't consider this hadith to be sahih. But you see the usul of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, taking the hadith da'if instead of qiyas. Don't take hadith da'if and don't take qiyas. Who told you to take qiyas? A person has done something, people have done qiyas, and then, no, I'm not going to take qiyas, I'm going to take the hadith da'if. No, qiyas for you is good, is bad. Don't take it, and hadith da'if, don't take it. Just say, there is nothing he has done something haram, you don't have to punish him. I mean, like, we have to do something, but we don't know what. So we have to find it somewhere. No, don't do anything.
If they wanted to, they could do it.
I'm sorry?
If they wanted to, they could do it.
If a person wants,
No.
there is a difference between you want and between making religion. Al-Bara' ibn Azib narrates hadith which is in the 4 books. It is sahih, unanimously sahih, that the Prophet said that the udhiyah, what you slaughter in Eid, that 4 type of udhiyah are not fit, are not good. One is the blind from one eye. The second is the one that limps. The third is the one that has disease in the skin, rash. And the fourth, the one that is so weak that you can like see the bones, where there is no, not the flesh, there is no fat. It has no fat whatsoever. I mean, when you can see the skin, then you won't find any fat in it. So he said 4 things. The Prophet said 4 are not good. So
when you say good, not good, you mean invalid?
Invalid, if you do it. So the madhahib say it's invalid because of this hadith. But with this 4, the madhahib will say another 400 reasons why you shouldn't. Like if the horn is broken, if the ear is cut, then you understand. So the narrator, sub-narrator from Al-Bara' ibn Azib, he said, I don't like the udhiyah, the sacrifice, which has no ear, like the ear is cut. He said, hate it for yourself, don't make it haram for others. This is the Sahabi. Yeah, so he said, like, this person is doing qiyas. And Sahabi said, hate it for yourself, Yeah. Don't make it. Yeah, don't do it. It's better to. It's definitely it makes sacrifice is what we call qurban. And the Prophet said, the word qurban means you are giving something for sake of Allah. Huh? You give him something, one of the best things that you can. I mean, the Quran says, don't go to the worst of what you have to and spend it. It is haram to go if someone has, when it's obligation on the obligations, to look for the worst what you have and you spend it. That is different from the hadith. The hadith is talking about udhiyah. Now, buying udhiyah, you can buy udhiyah very expensive. That is not worst of what you have. But there is problem with the air. The air is cut. You understand? But if someone who goes to the market and look, where is the worst thing here? I'm going to buy it for udhiyah. That will be haram. Generally, the hadith the ayah says, don't look for the worst of your property and give it in charity. Also, the hadith regarding the udhiyah, that the Prophet said about the udhiyah, that is the best what you have, that is the best udhiyah. Always, it's the best. The best udhiyah is the best that you can find. But, yeah, so he mentioned here the hadith. He says the hadith of Sharik from Khusayf, and both of them are da'if. Hadith of Awza'i is broken. The hadith of Abdul Malik ibn Habib, he said if it wasn't only him, it was enough to make the hadith da'if. But also is from the Sabi'i, and nobody knows who he is. And it is Mursal also. And from the Makfuf, nobody knows who he is. Ayyub ibn Khut, he is left. Nobody takes his hadith. And the hadith of Al-Walid ibn Muslim, both of them are da'if, with the fact that Al-Walid ibn Muslim is mudallis at least taswiyah. So, and said the qiyas of the person who has sexual relation in Ramadan on the person who have sex with his wife during menses, this is qiyas, and qiyas is invalid. He says also, for the people who have taken this ahadith, they should take the hadith of al-wudu'. He says the people who take the hadith of doing wudu' with nabidh, the ahnaf, nabidh, water mixed with, you see, the Arabs don't have these soft drinks. What they used to do is like to put fruits in the water and then it becomes sweet. So they put dates. This is nabidh. The ahnaf say if there is no water, before you do tayammum, you have to do wudu with nabidh. Even though it's sweet water, they say you have to. You don't do tayammum unless there is no nabidh, for example. And then there is a hadith from Ibn Mas'ud that the Prophet, the night of the jinn, the night that the Prophet met with the jinn, he was so late, then he came and he couldn't find water. He asked Ibn Mas'ud, do you have any water to do wudu? He said, no, I have nabidh. He said, fresh fruit and clean water. So he did wudu with it. So the Ahnaf take this hadith, which is invalid. It's da'if from any way you take it. So he said those people who take such hadith, they should take this hadith, because the majority don't say what Ahmad ibn Hanbal have said. The majority say you don't. They have rejected all these hadith. You see, there's so many hadith, but they rejected them because for being weak. So he said for those people who take this hadith as wudu with nabidh and wudu from qahqaha, wudu from laughing.
Okay.
We know that the Ahnaf say if someone laughs in prayer, his wudu is broken. Not his prayer is broken, his wudu is broken. The Ahnaf. Yes, they say his prayer and his wudu is broken. There is a hadith. Yeah, the Ahnaf say that. The Ahnaf say that. There is a hadith narrated by Abil Ali al-Riyahi and Hassan al-Basri and Zuhri and Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, that the Prophet, all this is mursal, that the Prophet was praying with the Sahaba, and then a blind man came. There was a hole in the mosque. He fell in. So the Sahaba started laughing in the prayer. So the Prophet ordered them to repeat the prayer and the wudu. So the Ahnaf take this hadith. They say if someone loves in prayer, not only his prayer is broken, but his wudu is broken. So he said people who take this hadith, there is this hadith of Ibn Abbas is better. They should take this. Also he said the people who take the hadith of Jasra bint Dajaja, that you shouldn't, junub should, and woman in her menses should not enter the mosque. They should take this hadith as well, because it's similar, like similar, ضعيف and ضعيف. He said those people who take a hadith ضعيف, that Quran, a person in janaba should not read Quran, they should take this hadith as well. He said because all these hadith that we have mentioned, this hadith of Ibn Abbas, narrated from Ibn Abbas, is better than those hadith that they have taken. He said, and those who do qiyas on a person eating in Ramadan, on a person having sex on Ramadan, such as the Malikis. The Malikis say if someone has eaten in Ramadan, he should free a slave, or fast 60 days.
If he eats in Ramadan.
Yeah, if someone eats in Ramadan intentionally, break his fast, they said he should either free a slave, or fast 60 days, or feed 60 people.
Just one day? Or?
For one day. They say the reason is a man had sex with his wife in Ramadan, and the Prophet ordered him to do this. So they say qiyas, this is broken his fast for eating, and this person have broken his fast by approaching his wife, by having sex with his wife. So you say if you do qiyas here, then you have to do this. Qiyas is better. This is a person who had sex with his wife when she was forbidden for him, and this person had sex with his wife when she is forbidden for him. So he said they should do qiyas here. You understand? He said,
Hassan al-Basri would be alright then.
yeah, he said that this is better than the qiyas of the Malikis. He said also it is better than the qiyas of oil, zayt, oil on salmon. Salmon, what is salmon? Ghee. You know ghee?
Yeah, when you cook butter.
Yeah,
take
butter.
out the
Yeah,
yolk.
the butter. Because there is a hadith that Prophet Prophet was asked about a rat falling in ghee. You understand? And then they said, Ibn Hazm said it's in ghee, not in oil. The others said oil the same. What's the difference between oil and ghee?
Solid and liquid.
You understand? He said he said if you do qiyas oil on ghee, it's better to do qiyas on the junub, on man on. He says this qiyas is better than this. He said also it's better than the khinzir with the dog, because the Prophet said if a person, if the dog licks in the bowl, you have to wash it 7 times. Shafi'i say the pig as well. You understand? He said also is better than the qiyas of the hand of the private part of a Muslim woman on the hand of the thief. That is the Ahnaf and the Malikis. They say a woman can't be married for less than this amount of money.
Okay.
Ruba' dinar or.
Oh, from the stealing.
And then they say why, if you ask them why a woman mahar dowry should be this amount, they say because the Prophet has cut the thief. The hand of Muslim is forbidden. When he steals, his hand will become halal. You can't chop it off. Yeah. And the private part of a woman is haram. For it to be halal for this man, he must pay the same amount that this person has stolen. This is qiyas. You understand? Well, this is qiyas, we take qiyas. Because you have to say what is the limit then if you don't take qiyas. He says, as for us, we take only the hadith sahih and the Quran. So since there is nothing on the woman, there is nothing to say that a person who has had sex with his wife should pay. then we say this is haram, and he should do tawbah and ask Allah for forgiveness, and that's all. He said, and the lead ta'zir can be ta'zir, and he said we will mention it all in its place. Meaning ta'zir is something. If someone, for example, he does something, and his wife complain, or we know of that he does something similar, the leader can punish him. And the punishment, according to the hadith from Jabir, which is in Bukhari and Muslim, which he will mention in Book of Ta'zir, that he can be beaten up to 10 lashes.
That's for doing something which is prohibited, or
Something-
something like
No, for doing something which is prohibited.
or it works like.
No, something that's prohibited only. But
So if he tried to have relations with her while she's on her menses,
That is haram.
Yeah.
He can be beaten not more than 10 lashes, because there is hadith that says لا يجلد فوق 10 جلدات. This hadith in Bukhari.
And who?
Abu Burda bin Niyar. It says that nobody should be beaten more than 10 lashes except in had of hudud Allah. And we stop here.
Okay.